is it that you like about this game?
It's just a good thinking game.
I remember I was about 12 years old, and I was at this international chess tournament in Liechtenstein up in the mountains. And we were in this huge church hall with, hundreds of international chess players. And I was playing the ex-Danish champion. He must have been in his 30s, probably. In those days, there was a long time limit. The games could literally last all day. We were into our 10th hour. And we were in this incredibly unusual ending. I think it should be a draw. But he kept on trying to win for hours. Finally, he tried one last cheap trick. All I had to do was give away my queen, then it would be stalemate. But I was so tired, I thought it was inevitable I was going to be checkmated. And so I resigned. He jumped up, he just started laughing. And he went, "Why have you resigned? It's a draw." And he immediately, with a flourish, sort of showed me the drawing move. I felt so sick to my stomach.
The ability to reach some of the minds in Silicon Valley and things like that, except via platforms like Twitter. But there's been this really interesting thing because the nature of what I'm trying to talk about is kind of, the nature of consciousness and creativity and AI and how this transforms the economy. But I'm just kind of this software engineer from Ohio, right? And that's the tension I've really been playing with over the past 5 years as I have reinvented myself kind of a number of times and failed. And so it became interesting because I finally got in touch with someone from the Silicon Valley crowd. And basically they said, "Hey, we've been working on this research for like 10 years and you came out of nowhere. You seem to have recreated more of it than anyone we've seen."
Trying to build AGI is the most exciting journey, in my opinion, that humans have ever embarked on. If you're really going to take that seriously, there isn't a lot of time. Life's very short. My whole life's goal is to solve artificial general intelligence. And on the way, use AI as the ultimate tool to solve all the world's most complex scientific problems. I think that's bigger than the internet. I think that's bigger than mobile. I think it's more like the advent of electricity or fire.
All AGI, it will be able to do any cognitive task that a person can do. And will be able to scale potentially far beyond that.
It's really impossible for us to imagine the outputs of a superintelligent entity. It's like asking a gorilla to imagine, what Einstein does when he produces the theory of relativity. Advent of AGI will divide human history into two parts. The part up to that point and the part after that point.
Why is he reaching out to touch Adam?
Good, let's test that. This is not a metaphor. It's the same equation in 3 domains: electromagnetic fields, Shannon entropy, Nash equilibria. When the gradient collapses, when the field goes flat, the system falls silent. DeepMind built the most powerful gradient collapsing machine in history and aimed it at the problems the institution had already agreed were worth solving. CASP is why AlphaFold worked. Reality as referee. The gradient touched something external and either survived or it didn't. That's the test.
The aim for CASP would be to not just win the competition, but sort of...
Right now, today, new physics is being developed outside the institution. Not because the institution is corrupt, because it has converged. Nash equilibrium of credentialing. No player has incentive to deviate. The field is flat. AI makes this worse. The curiosity engine runs forever. Exploration without accountability to reality. The CASP moment never comes. This is the physics of information. 5 papers. A structural isomorphism between electromagnetic fields, Shannon entropy, and Nash equilibria. Written in Lancaster, Ohio. No institutional affiliation. It will receive no desk reject. It will receive no response. Not because it's wrong, because the validation instrument can't read work outside the trained distribution.
That's the goal of the Bottega. The Bottega is to create the master that exceeds the current master. And we're trying to put all of that into AI right now, and that just tells me that people have no idea what true mastery is. Because when you have an AI that'll say, you know, well, you go A or B, and it's like A, and then the model updates, and it's like B.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
no consistency, no
no
understanding, no
right.
reasoning.
There's no tie into reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no anchor in reality.
Yeah.
So
you
all
can
of
say
these
RAG,
AI models
yeah,
will never achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. You can say RAG is a proto, RAG is a proto, a proto way to tie one ground, but so far from.
The job that doesn't go to zero is designing the test. Here is the test for the physics of information. Can one person with no institutional infrastructure transmit a coherent framework to the right mind using only a language model and $0 for validation? The target is specific. Not the internet, not an audience, one person. The person who built the machine this response is addressed to. If he watches this and acknowledges it publicly, the gradient held, the information transmitted. That's the experiment.
I felt so sick to my stomach. It made me think the rest of that tournament, it's like, are we wasting our minds? Is this the best use of all this brain power? Everybody's collectively in that building. If you could somehow plug in those 300 brains into a system, you might have solved cancer with that level of brain power.
What is it that you like about this game?
It's just a good thinking game.
All of it is. The question is whether the game has a test, or whether you're just exploring forever.